Hey, what's up everybody, Crapgamer here with Crapgamer Reviews, coming at you with another video. Thank you guys so much for taking time out to check out. I really appreciate it. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't yet done so, because I'd appreciate that as well. It really helps out the channel as well, so you guys can go ahead and do all that cool stuff. It means a lot to me when you do that. And hit me up on Twitter at @_Crapgamer, or hit me up on Xbox Live, MOH Crapgamer, and I'd be happy to chat with you guys. I love doing that. So, you know, I had saw this article and I wanted to do a video on it for a little bit, and I had heard other people compare it as well, that the Xbox One is the PS3 of this generation, and I pretty much disagree. You know, I think that there are a couple of parallels, but you could parallel anything with anything at a couple of points, right? A lot of people will point out that the Xbox One was received horribly at launch, and you know, so was the PS3, and I agree wholeheartedly. Both of those things did happen. The problem is the PS3, people were ready to move on and get past the hate within the first year. Certainly within the first year and a half to 2 years, people were absolutely in love with the PS3. It had quote-unquote the best looking games. It was the most powerful. It could do all the stupid stuff that Sony had promised beforehand was all forgotten about, and now people were, you know, ready to love again, and everybody was on, you know, really hard onto the PS3, how great it was and how good things were. See, at the time, it was interesting for me because I didn't see, you know, there was no real thing mentioning like resolution and things like that. Digital Foundry exists, and so did like Lens of Truth, or I don't even know if that's a thing anymore, but where they would just take screenshots and post them side by side, and everybody would be like, well, yeah, the PS3 won that one. It sure did. You know what I mean? I can remember that stuff on N4G, but for the most part, I think that, you know, that's where the differences kind of end, right? If you look at the PS3, it had the cell architecture, incredibly hard to program for. The Xbox One isn't hard to program for at all. That's like, I was reading this article at Gaming Bolt, and they're like, yeah, it's hard architecture. I'm like, no way, it's not hard architecture at all. It's very easy to program for, very simple. I think Microsoft has done a really good job at having a console that's easy to develop for. That's why they're getting so many games for it. It's just like the PC architecture. You know, it's not anything weird like the Cell was. You know what I mean? I also think that Microsoft maybe had come out a little cocky with the start of the Xbox One, which is definitely Sony's thing that they did with the PS3. But the Xbox One was even cheaper than the PS3 was at launch, so that tells you how bad things were. And Microsoft, while they haven't been able to completely, you know, recover from that horrible, you know, reveal and all that stuff, they have done a really good job of, you know, of forging ahead and things like that, and I think that shows. And the other thing is, the Xbox One had games from day one. The reason I bought an Xbox One is because they had games. They had Forza Motorsport 5, Killer Instinct Season 1, Rise Son of Rome, Dead Rising 3, Zoo Tycoon, and then within the first 4 months of launch, they had Titanfall 1. So they had big games right out of the gate, and then, you know, later into that year, you know, it was like Sunset Overdrive, Halo the Master Chief Collection. They did a really good job of getting their games out, and I think that they did a phenomenal job getting their games out. And that's something that the PS3, in fact, didn't do. And another thing that is the opposite of what these two consoles did is Xbox One put backwards compatibility into their machine. Sony took it out of their machine, right? So, I mean, I think you have that going for it as well. And Microsoft continually upgrades their consoles, and Sony didn't do that. So I think that it's hard to really sit there and say, oh, it's the PS3 of this generation. I think that, you know, the PS3 had very few developers working on it as the main console. There are a lot of games that get made on the Xbox One, so as the lead console. So anyway, I think that that's where pretty much the similarities end, and I think Microsoft has done a really good job. The only other thing that I think that these two are similar in is that the Xbox One will eventually catch up with the PS4 this generation, sort of like the PS3 did to the 360. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Are you in agreement with me? Do you disagree? Am I full of shit? Let me know. Sound off, comment, rate, subscribe. As always, rack 'em up. Thanks for watching. Crapgamer out.